strong anti-spam system distinctly identifies cheating behaviors on traffic and clicks to guarantee high CTR and CVR. Our clients vary, from China, India, Southeast Asia to Russia and North America, etc. We have helped domestic internet companies acquire billions of users worldwide. We offer various native ad formats, ensure maximum ROI and user-friendly experience.
Anyone can hear me okay? Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really very lucky to stand here in front of Mobvista for this volume. First of all, I think I should introduce myself. My name is Irene Yang, and I'm in charge of the business of Asia market of Mobvista. And of course, India is one of my top market here. And for Mobvista, we are one of the top ad networks now worldwide. And that's why at the very beginning for Mobvista, we're always thinking about how can we do for the chances and the trends of this market. And that's why here comes this GMAT volume. For GMAT volume, we call it Global Mobile Advertising Trend. And for this, we are gathering our clients, advertisers, publishers, tracking party tours, market research partners to go together, and we will discuss what about their insights of the market, and also what about the trend on the tech side. For this volume, actually we have 4 stops. This is the first stop in India, in Bangalore, and then we will get a second stop later this month in US, in San Francisco, and then the third in Bangkok, in Thailand, and then the last stop in Beijing, in China. So for Mobvista, in these 4 stops, India absolutely becomes the first one. Maybe we'll ask why we choose India. For India now, it's one of our top markets outside of China. And then from this year, we will invest more in this market. And then maybe you can see more of the things we will show on our PPTs and sharings here. And today, we are very lucky to invite lots of speakers with really rich experience in this market about their insights, chances related to their own products, and about the market. And then I hopefully think that you can enjoy this around 2 hours to get more things. After the speech part, and we will go to a panel discussion part. In this part, we will discuss more detailed topics into this market. Okay, so for this part at the beginning, I think I should warmly welcome our organizer, Gurpreet from the Asia President of Asia Market of GWC to give us an opening speech for that. Okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Gurpreet Singh, and I'm President Asia for GWC, the organizer of GMIC conference. It's my honor and pleasure to invite the second edition of GMIC conference in India. At GMIC, we're known for bringing the best innovation and best product to you, and that brings us very proudly to invite Mobvista to India and also to GMIC conference. One of the global company which has bring a great innovation worldwide and help the brands globally. So Mobvista is one of the company which I think you'll enjoy today and learn more about it in the session. It's one of the company which has a global potential and have been helping the big brands also in India like Flipkart, Paytm and other companies. So it will be a great session for you to learn more about it. With the great speakers and great session today, and we are proud to host them in India. And as GMIC is helping the innovation worldwide and connecting the innovation worldwide, that's actually proud that they've been joining us for this session. And with great speakers and great session today, I hope you'll have a good time and have a good day today. Thank you so much.
So what Mobvista do is that we give very good mobile traffic and help our advertisers to acquire mobile users with large amount of numbers. And now within our recent data, Mobvista can go more than maybe 1 million in stores every day worldwide. I have a question that will lead to what result? Maybe you say it's one of the significant results that maybe the product of the advertiser will go very high among Google Play ranking. So for this part, we also have one of the, that will come to our following topic. We got the sharing from App Annie, which is one of the very professional market research company, and give us some insights of this part. Let's welcome, I'm sorry. Sabajit Sarah Mister to give us some of their sharings and insights of this market from App Annie. Thank you.
Good morning, and I'm Shubhajit representing App Annie, the world's largest global mobile forum and mobile analytics platform. So, thanks everybody for coming and joining us in this session. And I would just like to take you through a few slides which actually speaks of how the global app market is performing and the India app market is doing. So, let me just give you a small idea of App Annie. Okay, so Appen is a company has grown tremendously over the last 5 years. We started with a small team, and now today we are the largest mobile analytics platform globally. What we do is we look at a lot of app store rankings, lot of analytics, lot of usage data, and publish them for various facets of mobile advertising. It may be your app store rankings, it may show you the trends of what you are going to do, it may show you a lot of other things like how engaged your user is with the app. So when we are making an app and publishing in the market, whether it's Google Play or whether it's iOS, iTunes, or whether it's Amazon App Store, what we are looking at is creating value for the user and value for the company as well. So App Annie actually has a ranking system which tracks all those things. So this is some of our consumers globally. So we have grown in every section, whether it's games, social, investors, platforms, mobile, media and entertainment. You can have a look at the kind of consumers we have for all our mobile platforms. So App Annie product is divided into two parts. If you people have not checked out the App Annie website, please go and check. App Annie has both the app analytics platform, the market data. This is basically what we are known as the free products. This gives you a very accurate idea, a generic idea of how your app is performing in the store. What is the top 100? What is the top 100 apps, top 300 apps, top 1000 apps? What is the daily movement? We have advertising. If you are an ad network, you can come and join us in the backend analytics and you can get a lot of data. We have something known as store stacks and index, which gives you an ranking kind of an opportunity in this scenario, mobile scenario. So if you have not checked it out, please go and check. This will give you a very good idea of how the App Store ranking is in the recent phenomenon. Creating an issue. Worldwide. We have something known as an audience intelligence. So audience intelligence basically gives you a very good idea about how the engagement pattern and the engagement trends of the app is. And we have usage intelligence. It's a new phenomenon out here for us. So usage also gives you an idea about how good you are doing with your app and who is your audience. So psychographic, demographics, and a lot of things. So let me quickly take you through some App Store trends on a generic, and I'll come back to the India specific market later. So if you look at the app download store Q2 2015, I've just given two figures. Google Play is leading iOS App Store by a huge amount when it comes to app downloads. But if you look at the app revenue, iOS is leading Google Play again by a huge. So I mean, there's a gap of nearly 85% in that stats. So where is that gap coming from? Let me give you an idea. Most of the Google Play downloads where that market share increase is coming from is from the Southeast Asia countries, which is having a good penetration of Android smartphones, the cheaper range of Android smartphones, which gives them tier 2, tier 3 cities, which gives them this huge lead. Another new entrant in this Google Play domain, which is actually pushing the Google Play download numbers very high, is Mexico. So out of hand data, I can say to you, don't quote me on that, like nearly 70 to 80% of Mexico's installed phone base is Android, and growing at an average rate of around 65% per year. So let me just show you some country trends. So you can see the App Store downloads by country. These are the top countries, of course, US. So I have both Google Play and iOS out here. So, give me the mic, I think this is a little too far. So if you look at the stats out here, it will say US is leading for index downloads, both in Google Play and iOS. But if you look at the China market, it's all iOS, because Google Play downloads is mostly through the affiliate networks. So data is difficult to gather out there. And as I have said before, this only vindicates the fact, look at all these nations: Russia, Mexico, Indonesia, South Korea, Japan, and Turkey. And South Korea is the one which has made the maximum amount of movement. Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines. If you just look at the below mentioned points in the slide, you can understand how good and how strong the growth of Southeast Asia market is. So if you look at the App Store by country revenue, you will see a different scenario from what you looked at the downloads. So if you look at both Google Play and iOS out here, you will see Japan and US as the top two countries. China, mostly it's iOS, and then you have the Android and the iOS users mixed for both South Korea, UK, Taiwan, Germany. But again, if you look at the two bullet points which has been mentioned down, it's saying Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. So the SIA nations, the Southeast Asian nations, are a very, very predominant factor in the kind of app downloads that we are seeing today. So how are the markets shifting in the iOS App Store? Not much. If you look at the top 10 positions, you will see only shift which has happened as the US market has gone down by one notch, and the China market, which was previously number 2, has gone up. And if you look at the ranking by revenues, you will see it's basically the same. The only big mover in this entire market in revenue in iOS iTunes App Store has been Taiwan, which has climbed up 5 spots and gone into the top 10 markets globally for iOS. Let's look at Google Play. If you look at again, so why I'm reiterating this point again and again, because there will be a lot of people who would be looking at overall market strategies. So now if you're looking at overall market strategies, this can give you a good idea of which market you should enter in the long run to have a big impact and where the maximum revenue and download dollars are. So Mexico, as I've previously spoken, actually is climbing. So from outside of top 10, slowly it has climbed to now to number 4 spot. The first 3 is US, Brazil, and India, and this ranking has not changed given quarter to quarter. For the revenue ranking, it's a little different. You don't find India out here because it's more of the free download market. If you look at the revenue ranking, it's again Japan, US, South Korea. You can understand that because there is a lot of games out there which is being played. And Taiwan, which I had shown shifting majorly in iOS also, has made good progress in Google Play also. Okay, so country highlights. What we are speaking out here is what is the recommended country launch strategy today. Why we are speaking of this is it gives you a small scorecard kind of an idea about where you need to go in the future and what is the current trends where you are going to make most of either the revenue dollars, or you can have a look at the download. So Japan and US, of course, if you remember some of my previous slides, it clearly speaks even in iOS and Google Play, whether by downloads or whether by revenue, they are the leaders. China, yeah, launch for iOS, because if you look at iOS revenues globally, I'll come to this slide afterwards, you can see like they are the 2 of the biggest markets. I mean 50% of all markets, 50% of all revenues come from these 2 markets. Look at South Korea, which is developing very, very strongly for Google Play, but then, yeah, iOS is slowly appearing on the radar. India, yeah, Google Play is like the overall dominating factor, but while iOS App Store is generating 60% of the combined App Store revenue. So this clearly says the free downloads are coming from the Google Play Store, while the revenue, paid revenue is coming from the iOS App Stores. So emerging markets, a small bullet points which reiterates the above fact that South Korea and Taiwan for iOS revenue, because Apple is predominantly strong there and going very strong, and Mexico, Vietnam, again the Southeast Asia countries and Mexico for their growth in Google Play. So I'll just, while we have been speaking of App Store trends and country trends, which are the countries which are doing very, very well, let me just show you some category trends also. There has not been much of a movement. While we have been speaking of a lot of apps which are coming and dominating markets, but if you look at the overall global scenario for downloads and by revenue on iOS App Store, you will hardly see any movement. Photo and video, which is a surprising category, has actually moved up to number 2 position, but and entertainment has come down by a notch, but there has not been much changes. The only thing which has changed is if you look at point number 10, which is the travel category. So basically the push for the travel category has come from some of the what do you call the transport category apps like Uber and Didi Dache. So this we can say clearly, and in India of course we have Ola, Meru, Taxi for Sure, a lot of other things. So this is like one category which has piggybacked on the ride of some of the apps and come to this point. So I can tell you offhand that in the travel and transport category, that most downloaded app in iOS App Store has been Uber, and in the second number is Didi Dache. The numbering are not there, but I can tell you about that. If you look at the revenue rankings, it's more or less the same except for the navigation apps. I think that is because of travel has come up out here, which has gone down. And if you look at other apps, except for news apps, which has gone down, mostly the ranking has been very stable. Let's look at Google Play. If you just remember the previous slide and look at this slide, you will see photography as a section. The sections are named differently in Google, of course, Google Play Store and iOS, but photography as a section overall is doing very, very, very well. And entertainment as a section, in both the stores, iTunes and Google Play, has gone down. Personalization is something which is very well. And if you look at the downloads and the review rankings, it's so very different except for the games. None of the rankings, if you look at it, appears parallelly. So travel and local has gone down, entertainment has gone down, but more or less if you see, the rankings are there, except for if you look at point number 10 on ranking by revenue, health and fitness as a category has suddenly taken off in the last 2 quarters. So because of multiple apps like Freelayers and MyFitnessPal, which downloads are into millions, you can see this category making an entry into the revenue charts, and most of these apps are paid, so that pushes them. Okay, so let me just give you some category time spent. This is a very, if you look at carefully at the chart, this is a very different phenomenon. I think this is a region-wise phenomenon. While US and UK are high on communication, if you look at Japan and South Korea, you will see they are high on communication and they are high on gaming as well. So it clearly gives you a very good idea of the amount of time which is being spent on smartphones. And if you remember some of my previous slides, Japan and South Korea both has very high Google and iOS penetration also. So it can give you a good idea of what kind of advantages you have as a marketeer or as an app developer in this kind of markets. If you look at the Germany market, it's predominantly communication. When I say communication, it may be Facebook, it may be a WhatsApp, it may be a Kakao, it may be a Line, but then Kakao and Line is more predominant in Japan and South Korea than in Germany. So this was just the reiteration of what I was speaking on my previous slide. The social and communication app differ greatly between countries. So if you look at the social and communication countries apps, you look at US, the number 1, 2, 3 is Facebook, Chrome, and Instagram. If you look at UK, it's again Facebook, it's WhatsApp, and the Chrome browser. You look at Germany, it more or less faces the same thing, only the rankings are different. Moment you go to Japan and moment you go to South Korea, the entire scenario changes. Except for Chrome browser, you will never find anything similar. So the top communication app in Japan is Line, of course, and then you have Chrome and Twitter. And if you look at South Korea, it's Kakao Talk, Facebook, and So basically what we are speaking of here is in some of the markets, the social communication is very, very regional centric. In some of the markets is more of the generic overview. Distinction I wanted to create, so there are a lot of misconceptions about what is the kind of advantages or what is the kind of push which is being happening in the kind of marketing spends which are happening in the social media for different apps. So many of us have a perception that it's the communication apps which engages a lot of us and which actually has much more user engagement pattern. But if you look at this indexed sessions, it's just a simple graph. What we found after our analysis was there may be a greater download of social communication app and music streaming app and games app. If we compare this to the social communication apps may have a larger amount of sessions being logged into every day. But if you look at the time consumption of apps on a generic platform, you will see the music streaming apps consume a lot more of our time than your social communication apps. And strangely and surprisingly, the gaming apps has lower amount of engagement than even music streaming apps. So it's kind of an eye-opener, where are we looking for our consumers. So just a small snapshot of the category highlights which we have been tracking through App Annie. So we saw the following category trends compared to July 2014 to July 2015. So as usual, as I've said before also, games was a flagship category and it has been consistently leading on both iOS and Google Play. Of course, US, Japan, China, some of the biggest markets are very heavy gaming markets, also South Korea also one of them. Travel downloads grew substantially, and it has, as I had shown in my previous slide, it has made into an entry into the top 10 of the top 10 markets. Entertainment, iOS revenue is hugely high. This is because, just like as I said, some of the apps suddenly become so successful that the category piggybacks on them. So HBA now became successful. For travel, Uber became very successful. Ola is very successful. GrabTaxi is very successful. And health and fitness, like MyFitnessPal, and all those people are helping pushing this revenue, but that's a paid revenue section in Google Play. Also, we saw following patterns. As I had explained just in the last slide, social and communication app dominated the time spent for Android users. So, and we have seen some popular social communication apps from country to country. The social and communication gap, why the second bullet point is out there is because if you remember last slide, we have spoken of different countries, US, UK and Germany, and then we have taken South Korea and Japan. So while US, UK and Germany was all about Twitter, Google and Facebook, South Korea and Japan was more about KakaoTalk and Line. So coming back to my main presentation, so I'm just giving you a small snapshot of the App Annie Store Index, which gives you data globally and regionally also. So top games worldwide, iOS, App Store and Google Play, July 2015. So this is paid data, but just for the forum we are trying to present it. So if you look at the game downloads, it's basically the same ones you will see, which is, I mean, this is the usual suspect, the Clash of Clans, Candy Crush, My Talking Tom, Temple Run, Subway Surfers. So, I mean, whatever we think is popular is actually popular out there. And by revenue, of course, Clash of Clans and Clash of Kings. Clash of Kings is a new entrant out there. If you see, Clash of Kings has a huge marketing campaign in the previous few months. So I think that has been a very effective campaign. They have come from nowhere and now they're occupying that top 10 spot in App Store downloads. So top game companies, this is again the usual suspects. You can see Gameloft, EA, King, Miniclip, Glue, Tactile, I mean Rovio. We don't have anything new out here. It's basically the same. Of course, the revenue part, this is the free downloads. For the revenue part, you will have Supercell and Line, and because all these are in-app purchases and are paid. So top games in India, what I will show you was globally the scenario. So anybody wanting to have a look at the Indian market can have a look at this kind of games, or if they want to advertise, or if they are open for advertising or some kind of alliance tie-up, we have the Candy Crush Saga, Subway Surfer. So basically it's following the same pattern except for except for this Motor Racer 3D and Bike Racing 3D, which is not there in the top 10 globally, but they are at top 10 in India. For the revenue, it's, if you remember the last chart, is the Clash of Clans, Candy Crush, Sega, Clash of Kings, the same games which are doing out here, except for this Teen Patti, which is more of a regional phenomenon in India. We tend to play a lot of Teen Patti games, which comes under the casino category out here. Top game publishers in India, the same basically. We have King, Doodle Mobile, Tapinator, Rovio, Gameloft. Disney actually climbed up the charts very quickly because they had launched a whole lot of small games in the last 2 months, and they are doing very well. That has pushed their rankings quite massively. The revenue part is basically the same, the Supercell, LX Technology, and all the. So top apps excluding games worldwide, iOS App Store and Google Play. You will have Facebook, Messenger, Facebook, WhatsApp. So if you look at it, this is not a surprise. It's all communication, communication, communication everywhere, except for Clean Master and mobile security. You will find everything is in the communication category. If you look at by revenue, you will again see social and communication, and Spotify and Pandora, which are basically your music streaming apps. I have spoken of the music streaming apps in a previous slide, and this only reiterates the facts how popular they are. So top app publishers excluding games worldwide. Of course, these are basically the main parent groups. So you have Facebook, Google, Cheetah Mobile, Baidu, Tencent, dominated by both US and Chinese groups. And by revenue also, it's basically the same except for Spotify. Top apps outside of games in India, WhatsApp, Facebook, UC browser. You can just have a cursory look at it. If you have any questions, you can catch me outside. We can have a talk about that. Shadi.com, of course, is a regional app, marriage app. And Maxter, Savan, Ghana. So Savan and Ghana, again, both of them are music apps. So it gives you a clear idea when I had spoken why music is a very engagement high category in India. So top companies outside of games in India, iOS App Store and Google Play. It's the same thing basically. If you look at the top 10 companies out here, you'll see Facebook, Google, Alibaba Group. You have Cheetah Mobile, and of course then you have the e-commerce section, Flipkart, and then you have News, Times Internet. And if you look at the revenue also, you will see Maxter, Savan with their pro apps, Times Internet, LinkedIn, and basically again networking, social and music, which dominates this entire system. So I'll quickly go by the usage penetration. So if you see on iPhone, the usage penetration on a, let's say on a base of 100, it will be very high. Candy Crush, Survey, Clash of Clans, Criminal Case, Temple Run 2. By usage penetration on Android smartphone, basically the same. If you look at it, it's basically reflecting, it's a mirror image of what you are seeing right now. The Candy Crush Saga, Subway Surfers, Temple Run, Hill Climbing, 8-ball pool. So it mirrors, it reflects basically which has the highest penetration. So if you are looking for some kind of affiliate marketing or tie-ups, you can use this data to speak to the publishers. Top apps excluding games by usage penetration. This is, I mean, basically coming onto the same thing again and again. WhatsApp, Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Book My Show, Flipkart, Truecaller, and on the other side of it, you have the Chrome browser. Those are by Android smartphone penetration, Facebook, Google Maps. So basically, if you look at the last 3-4 slides, the top publishers, games, non-games, inside India, outside India, it's mirroring the global trend of the same thing. So just the last slide, the top publishers by performance in India, July 15. This is quite recent data. If you look at it, of course, Flipkart, the e-commerce category, Times Internet, which has a plethora of apps in the app stores. So every app downloaded multiplied by the number of apps can give them a major kind of fillip. You have Snapdeal, you have ONE97. So you can look at it's basically the e-commerce category, the news category, entertainment, and MobiKwik, Bharti Airtel, ONE97. So that's basically I think is Paytm. So basically Rational Heads again is Untalk Time. So basically all all the research categories, the e-commerce categories, and the entertainment categories, which is doing very well. Octo, of course, which is one of the biggest publishers of the Inpatti game. Same is with Moonfrog. You have Reliance, Red Monster. So you will see a lot of casino games out from these publishers. So, and Hangama, Bharti, Airtel, Winjet. So again, a lot of entertainment guys. So all in all, we can clearly say the biggest categories out here, which is doing top Indian publishers are coming from is e-commerce, the shopping category, and the talk time, research kind of entertainment categories we look at. So outside of India, top Indian publishers. So what this basically speaks of is this is not the Indian market, but what they are earning, the kind of revenues and the downloads they are earning outside of India, but these are the publishers based in India. So we'll have Outthinking, Axis, OneSofttake, Reliance, which is based in India but getting good downloads outside. If you look at the publisher side by revenue, where there must be some kind of a revenue stream flowing inside the app, you will see Dynamic Next, Reliance, Big Entertainment, June Software, Octo, again, Tinpatti. Gives you an idea. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Please have a look at these websites, and you can get a lot of free data, a lot of intelligence reports out here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Saha. It comes from App Annie's report. Apart from this professional app market research report, we can see that no matter in the category of game or utility or e-commerce, especially in Indian market, there are so many chances and different things appearing rapidly, like the entertainment or the news part, things like that. And then for the next part, we also invite one of the main players in this market, I mean in Indian market, with his experience and the insights of the vans business and some other part of the e-commerce. Let's warmly welcome Mr. Dushat from ONE97 to share with us his insight on this market.
Welcome to a very pleasant Bangalore. I always say that because I'm coming in from Uttar Pradesh, which is Noida, and that's where our mother company ONE97 was founded some 14 years back. I unfortunately do not have as insightful as data as what App Annie presented, and thank you so much. That was really good. I really appreciate. I mean, I thought that was amazing that App Annie took that step to share what is there. We all know this, but it's great to see it up on the board, and thanks for the effort on that. You may know about us. If you could just move the slide, please. Sorry, yeah, there we are. That's fine. That's fine. That the name of the company that we have and the brand that you know outside is Paytm, but the organization itself is held in Singapore and is Indian in origin and completely based out of India and targets India largely as a focus. We have around 2,500 people in the organization. Most of them are engineers. We pride ourselves to be really the company that builds everything internally. So for example, today we deploy for our telco partners. We started off traditionally from being a telco partner organization, VAS company, which actually provided platforms and still does. And we are very, very big in that. In fact, we have leadership on that business. I'll speak about that boring side. But some 4.5 years back, we started the journey with Paytm, which is a brand you know. But all of these things come from the bedrock of engineering skills that we have. The huge amount of concurrencies that we manage are incredible. For instance, ONE97 or Paytm's own servers take the kind of load. The number of calls that we manage in a month is sometimes bigger than the biggest telco in the country. Why do we do this? Because we provide things like the IVR landing destinations that you have. Every time you call a telco in India, it lands on an interactive voice platform. That's almost always provided by us. At heart of what we built over the last 10-12 years is a great analytics engine, which people are surprised when we tell them that in real time we actually dip down to a 500 million customer database and in real time figure out consumer behavior and upsell, cross-sell. So we've been doing this for some time. Um, but fortunately, and the fun always is that from the businesses which are large scale and makes money, there's always the new age business where we brought to the consumers a direct to consumer service around payments. Fortunately, we've been noticed, and the Alibaba Group invested in us. I think that's a piece of news which is pretty recent. But for a long time, we've been with the SoftBank Group, and we also have a lot of marquee investors. So if the reports, I can't say it, but if the reports are there, we've been we are now closely approaching $5 billion kind of a valuation. But the journey has just started for us because we've just been also accorded the payment bank license. So we are like an old company that started its journey on the telco partnership with telcos on VAS and platforms, but we've now got a direct-to-consumer business, and now we've got almost a full-fledged banking business also coming up. And that all journey started with a single app. That app is Paytm, and what Paytm actually does is just takes away all the pain of making a simple payment which you want to do very often. In this country, 98 to 99% of consumers are prepaid consumers, and prepaid consumers typically will load less than quarter of a dollar or half a dollar at a time to recharge their phones. And every time you have to do that, you have to go to a very patchy. I don't want to attack the telcos because I love them, they are my partners, but their deployments were often not really great, especially looking at the fragmented devices that Indian consumers were using to land on their pages. They were patchy, there were often timeouts, there were lots of issues. Every time you had to put in your payment product again. We just did a simple thing. We looked at one thing, which is the prepaid recharge, which needs to be done every second, third day, and we made it really easy. So we now for instance started baby things like you just invoke the address book to choose which number you want to recharge, yours or the others, and then we put a wallet out there, which we got the license from a central bank for. So when in case the telco side, which often sees up to 30% failures on transactions, the money would for the consumer get caught up in the credit card settlement cycle of 7 days or 30 days on the debit card side. We didn't do that. We just took the money, put it in the wallet so that he could immediately retry and get that. And all of these things have ensured our ability to store cards, payment data, the amount of effort our founder himself as the CEO puts into the product. He's actually always calls himself the product manager of the company, ensures that it's a great experience. I'd highly urge you to try the Paytm experience. So the Paytm app, if you look at, basically we have a full-on marketplace. This is no different from for the Chinese people, like from your Taobaos of the world. And then we have the digital goods store where we sell mobile recharges or even things like bus tickets. And now increasingly, I'm happy to say that our team has actually brought some of the telco products also on Paytm. So for telcos, we not only sell the recharges, but telcos actually give us on a cost per acquisition kind of a basis business, like if you can upsell a special US calling pack or a nighttime calling pack, special data packs. Because if the consumers are anyway coming in millions, and that's a very big number, it's actually close to, yesterday we did 1.5 million transactions. These are paid e-commerce transactions in a day. It's like, it's really the biggest number of any payment in the country. So if we did 1.5 million transactions yesterday, I'd say the second biggest transactor as a direct-to-consumer service would be Indian Railways at around 500,000. We were 1.5. And the biggest e-commerce companies that you may hear about, Flipkarts, etc., probably do around that. So we are like 2x to 3x if you look at the consumers making a payment on a daily basis to us. So if they're coming to make all those payments and recharging a lot of them, we can sell them goods. And most importantly, we have an incredible mobile wallet, which has partners like our mobile wallet you can use to pay Uber And in fact, Uber till recently could only be paid by the Paytm wallet, so you had to be a user. We like that, I know, but it was their choice. And Jabong, for example, you can pay at eBay, you can pay at Book My Show, Make My Trip. You can pay at Pizza Hut. Sorry, my bad. At Domino's today using Paytm. So on Domino's, you can go and just scan the QR code from our Paytm wallet app, and your payment will be done from the wallet. So I've already spoken about this. It's actually now yesterday was 1.5, but we are doing actually more than 2 million on an average basis now today. We do around $2 billion worth of GMV in USD every month. And the good part is that 2/3 of our payment happens through mobile. I will not waste too much time. I just wanted to share with you the overall lay of the land where we come from, because I want to focus, not that there is too much to show on slides, but on the vast business. But anyway, very quickly, we've got over 30 million saved cards, and our wallet is like, so we have over 100 million wallets today in the country. The closest competitor to us has around 25. But our wallet is also used a lot. The wallet is a very interesting animal. By itself, it has no value, but when you build a use case where it can be used, then it becomes really powerful. And these are all the partners with whom our Paytm wallet works. Now, this is the part of the business, the boring side of our business, but the business that makes money. Am I going a little, oh, sorry. Oh my God, it's been stuck there all this while? Oh, I'm so sorry, my bad. I've just been, so here's a retrospect, flashback. Sorry about that. So this is the Paytm app that I was sharing with you, right? So this is, please do try it out. It's an awesome experience. You'll see our internal challenge of getting transactions down to 2 to 3 seconds is a reality. And this is how we stack up against everyone else. We are like, fortunately, doing rather well. And our wallet actually has these numbers. I told you we have 100 million plus wallet customers in the country. It's an incredible number. We are happy, and we hope to take it up to 500 million, which you will hear my founder, our founder, talk about tomorrow. Sorry, what am I saying? And then these are all the partners that accept the Paytm wallet today. So you can make your payment if you have money in the Paytm wallet. Now, this is the part of business that I was supposed to cover. I look after this business for ONE97, which is also Paytm as a brand, you know. Over the last 2.5 years, we've grown very fast. We've seen a very interesting journey on the VAS business in the country. 2.5 years back, all the VAS used to be one VAS product. Can anybody take a guess? What dominated 70-80% of all VAS revenues in the country? Just 3 years back. That's right, caller tunes. There was one product. It's not a mobile internet product. It's a standard telco network product. It is a 2G product, as we called it, and it's the ringtone. And it's basically, for those who don't know it, it's a personalization. You call someone, you hear a tone, and that was pretty sad. You know, like, I mean, that's all that the telco wallet was being used at. So, this actually, I just wanted to bring your attention to one thing, because this is like the texture of what I want to say further, which is that the term here is the telco wallet. For the Indian consumer today, what are the ways that he can pay for an electronic purchase, digital good? He can pay either by a credit card, debit card, net banking. Unfortunately, we have a long way to go. We have a huge population, anywhere from 70 to 80%, which is completely unbanked. They live in villages, and they don't even have credit debit cards, and we don't have a central credit rating authority, so penetration of credit products is very low. The other way that they could easily pay was the telco wallet. What is the telco wallet? It's the amount of money which you're carrying as a fungible balance on your phone, which is talk time or any other purchases. This is the single most powerful and ubiquitous payment mode in the country today. There is nothing else out there that is more powerful than the telco wallet in the sheer availability and ease with which you can pay. And then finally, there are a lot of new wallets which are emerging. Paytm is one of them, which hope to make it easy for monies to be held and paid. And you can see our journey on that side. It's great. But look, we were talking about 100 million people, and all the 600, 700 million, whichever way you want to look at, of Indians who actually have a mobile phone, have a wallet. It's called the telco wallet. And we do hope to play in both the parts. We work with telcos very, very strongly. And we are their biggest providers today of things like the back-end systems of upselling, cross-selling, self-care. And on the VAS business, I'm happy to say that our company is actually India's #1 VAS company in revenue and profitability for, I think, the last 2 years for sure. Definitely head and shoulders above any other VAS company. There's no one bigger there. And some statistics which can be debated. There's a business naturally, and the business is actually growing. So caller tunes, which used to be 70-80%, is now down to any guesses? Sorry, my bad. And thanks for the reminder. The caller tunes business is down to 10-15% only. So things have changed a lot. So what has come and replaced caller tunes and what is growing the market 30-40% is completely mobile internet. And there the telco models changed. The telco model earlier used to be customer acquisition is going to be done by us. So we are going to keep like 70% of the revenue share with us. What are you guys doing? You're just providing content and a container for it. That has completely changed to a place where the telcos then 3 years back went and opened up what they call the off-deck model or direct-to-consumer model, saying that we will provide you the telco billing, which is basically the telco wallet, but you go acquire the consumer and you monetize them. The risk is yours. So naturally, we've come to the state where other markets were before us. But fortunately, we've come to a state where some strong players here enjoy up to 70% revenue with the top 2 telcos. And typically anywhere from 50-60% is the revenue share here. So it's not bad. I think it's a start. The interesting thing this is that it has seen a rise of a lot of new organizations also who are masters of CPA versus LTV, which is the core and crux of all the business that we do. But fortunately everything is working in our way because we've seen a lot of smartphones coming in and it's all helping us. One thing to keep in mind always is this market growing the way it is? The answer is no. Please bear in mind that there was a country in this world which added 40 million users, new internet users. Which country added the maximum number of new internet users last year? It was India. It added around 40 to 45 million. Out of that, 35 million came from the first experience of internet was from a mobile phone. So, it's an incredible growth opportunity out there, and this really means that a lot of new consumers who are coming into the internet are going to be put off by payment options which require credit card, debit card because they may not have it, because now the growth is happening of new internet users in C or D category towns. But the telco wallet becomes very, very important also to play. And also for organizations like Paytm, it becomes very important that we create really good solutions for them to be able to make digital purchases. Some of the challenges we've faced, and I want to just like come to this very clearly. I know we are with partners, but in the last 1 year, I've seen a very discomforting trend, and it has very directly affected businesses for all the partners, which is that we've seen malware. There is a silent APK that goes and installs on the Android. Then that malware actually ingests the entire consent gateway, passes that. So these are real issues. Because of this, this is actually the #1 threat that we have to the mobile VAS business, which now I've told you already is all about selling games, apps, and other content and videos. But these services are artificially clamped down today. Why? Because publishers like us and the telcos like us are extremely worried that we are seeing so many hacks and malwares coming into this. Also, I think the nature of performance network, which is open here, is such that all performance networks have an issue of control. And I urge all the partners to please try to build us ways in which we can track the final end thing, the small little things that we have to put like publisher IDs, etc. But if this continues and we are not able to together actually build a more rock solid and a better way to control malware and hacks, then we will have issues like CAPTCHA-led acquisition consent, which will be death for the industry. And apart from that, we are naturally under a lot of pressure on the available inventory, because a lot of inventory is chased by ad publishers for the flashier, higher valuation apps business. The app install, I can tell you, is today to get an app installed of 8 MB from an app store is cheaper by 30% than what we pay for getting 2 clicks from a consumer for a VAS product consent. How is that possible? How is it that today we have a cost per install in this market where a consumer clicks something, then he goes to the heavy Google page, maybe signs in, signs out, whatever. Then he installs an app. It's an 8 MB app. 3G is still not a reality. Forget 4G. But the CPI of that is 30% lesser than the other product, which requires you to click a banner and then click another button. So the reason for that is very clear. We know that. A lot of ad networks are into the valuation and seek the growth, all of us, and we all must. So a lot of subsidization happens for taking inventories and pushing them onto the app install side, and not so much is available on the VAS business. But the VAS business has a lot of money out there available. We are publishers like us are very, very aggressive. We want to give you more because we have a lot of confidence about the quality of our products and our ability to extract maximum lifetime value. So there is a lot of money. It's good money, and there is sustainable business as long as we do this and do this well. Apart from all of these challenges, there are some challenges like Safari is naturally coming up with a lot of ad-free kind of a deployment soon. Google has already stopped featuring ads on feature phones, and the inventories are going down, and the other inventories which are available are there. And I don't think there's any reason for that to shrink. In fact, it should really grow. So Google Play may be coming with telco billing very soon. They've been in talks with a lot of telcos, so I think it's just a matter of a few months now, finally, after many years, for them to be able to do that. I know one telco will be launching their billing on Google Play in 2 weeks' time. And I think the overall thing that I want to talk about on this side, I'd spoken about these 3 points as a loss of trust, telco billing and ecosystem. I'll come back to this and leave you with that thought. But Google Play, as I said, is coming with telco billing. That is going to make a difference naturally to the VAS business, but I think it's all good. It all works in the same direction. Because finally, if you look at the bottom out here, the in-app billing for telcos has not been really prevalent. And that's amazing. Imagine you as an app developer, just take one API and you put it into your app, and it does Google Play billing either through the telco. If it's not through the telco, you can pay by the telco wallet separately. Now this is already happening. On Google Play today, you have a lot of music apps which Google Play allows you to publish, which include telco billing. Earlier they never did. They never allowed any product to be up on the App Store if they didn't have Google Play billing, meaning your credit card, debit card. They didn't allow you telco billing. They'd put it out. But all that is happening. And naturally, since a lot of youngsters are coming in, new internet users, glamour will be, as a category, is pretty big. But I think it'll decline. We are already seeing some of our products around contest, community, chatting, which are picking up greater. So that's actually just the overall thing. I'd like to open the floor up for any questions that you may have. I just want to tell you one more thing on the telco side, that a lot of telcos are actually now, if you look at point number 2, releasing APIs. This is good news for a lot of publishers and app developers, because telcos like Vodafone today actually give you even psychographics for the consumer. So if you pay them for every dip, you get in fact, Vodafone has a location API. So where the consumer is at that time, depending on the either cell tower triangulation or any other format, they're able to pinpoint where the consumer is. You know who uses this? The banks, because it helps them prevent fraud. So if a card is swiped, they kind of check with Vodafone if it's their consumer, what the location of the customer is. Is he in the same location as any other place?